Brazil's middle class are demanding that public services be given a higher priority than football. The country is gearing up to host a global event for that next year. The sport is one step short of worship for millions of Brazilians, but while hospital and school budgets go hungry, many are furious that 11 billion euros is being spent preparing for the Confederation Cup. What lit the fuse for this explosion of public anger was a tiny little rise in the price to ride the buses in Sao Paolo. Graffitied liberally on walls around the city, we see protests against the 3 real 20 fare, the equivalent of €1.12. This works out to 14 minutes worth of work based on the average salary, which is low, in the metropolis of 11 million people. In Madrid, by comparison, it costs the equivalent of less than 7 minutes of work. Calculated on that basis, Sao Paulo now has the world's most expensive city bus ticket. But the mayor insists the price rise was not excessive. He says effort was made throughout the year so that the readjustment was quite a bit below inflation. It will mean 600 million reals in subsidies. That's more than 200 million in euros. As backdrop to the protests, Brazil's economy has slowed down, even though unemployment is at a relatively enviable 5.5%. Last year, growth was just below 1% and was 0.6% in the first quarter of this year, with inflation running at 6.5% per year. A lot of Brazilians are finding it increasingly hard to cover basic costs by the end of the month. Food prices have increased notably, as we hear from this grocery shopper in a Rio de Janeiro open market. She says last week a bag like this cost €1.50. Today it's €2. It just goes up and up. It's getting hard. Even if Brazil has the world's 7th largest economy by some estimates, it also has enormous social inequality, in spite of years of accelerating development. So while billions are spent putting on the Ritz for the 2014 football and the 2016 Olympics, people in much of the country are being left without basic infrastructure.